So for the perspectives of crime causation, we have classical perspective, viewed crime as a product of situational forces, that crime is a function of free will and personal choice. So same lang naman po ito ng classical school, wherein we are referring po for the free will and personal choice of the individual. And then next, the three principles of punishment that became the trademark of Beccaриa's classical deterrence doctrine. So we have the swift, certain, and severe. So when we are referring to swift, punishment must be swift to be effective. So meaning to say, agadan po dapat ang pagbibigay natin ng punishment for it to become effective. So ngayon nangyari si crime, dapat po ngayon din, or dumaan po tayo sa due process of law, then dapat po mabigyan agad siya ng karampatan niyang sentence or punishment. Hindi po kailangang patagalin, kasi pag pinatagal pa natin yung ganong setup, possible po na hindi na mag-workout yung kaso natin. And then next will be certain. So it must be certain so that people must know they will be punished for their illegal behavior, that they cannot evade the strong arms of law. Na lahat po dapat ay dadaan sa due process of law. Wala po dapat na magbabypass or magte-trespass sa law natin. Kasi alam natin na may 5 pillars tayo, dapat dumaan po sa 5 pillars. Or dapat may tamang proseso sa kakaroon ng due process. Kasi hindi pwede na mayroon tayong palakan sa system, hindi pwede na dahil kakilala lang natin si ganito, si ganyan, madidismiss na po yung kaso natin. At dapat po, alam natin na kung ano yung way kung paano natin gagawin or i-execute yung process. So for example, naging suspect ka. So ngayon, dahil suspect ka, bago ka i-arrest, kailangan sabihan ka kung ano yung dahilan bakit ka inaaresto. At the same time, dapat nabasahan ka ng Miranda rights. And then, next will be severe. So, severe must be severe enough to outweigh the rewards of the illegal action. Kasi pag alam natin na hindi naman severe yung naibibigay na punishment, so there is a huge possibility na mas madaming gumawa ng crime. Na kapag murder, 1 month lang naman yung ibibigay natin na punishment. So therefore, madami po ang gagawa ng criminality, which is yung murder. So dapat po, kung severe ang nagawa na crime, severe din po yung punishment na may ibigay. Then, another perspective is the biological perspective. So it regarded crime as the product of internal forces. So, internal forces meaning to say, within the family setting or within the foundation, yung magiging dahilan po kung bakit tayo magiging involved sa criminality. So, it simply means na we are referring to biological perspective. It means that our mental, personality, and genetic predispositions play a significant role in influencing criminal behavior, which is true po. An example po, yung persons na nagsasuffer for kleptomania. So, di ba meron siyang neurotic impulse in stealing things. So, internally, nangyayari po yun sa kanya. At sometimes, meron naman din pong mga cases na because of the family setting na meron sila, magulo yung family, nauuwi po sa depression, sa anxiety, yung kanilang mga anak. So, ibig sabihin, product din po yun ng internal forces. Kasi we are referring biologically or the biological perspective of crime causation. Next is the process perspective. So, this perspective claimed that crime is a product of socialization or interaction of one person to another. So, that crime is a function of upbringing, learning, and control. So, it reflects also yung role natin sa socialization. Not only for the socialization but for educational process and different mechanisms of social control that influences our criminal behavior. Kasi hindi naman tayo magkakaroon ng upbringing, learning, and control kung wala po yung educational process. And dapat may influencer tayo for that action. And those influencer natin, dapat nandyan si parents, nandyan si teacher, si social media, si environment, at yung mga fear na meron po tayo. Kasi hindi naman tayo magkakaroon ng role ng socialization kung wala po tayong involvement sa society. So lahat po tayo ay dumadaan sa process, lahat tayo ay dumadaan sa stages of human development at up to now po, on process pa din po yung ating learning. Na even na nasa taas na po tayo ng stage ng year level natin, nandun pa din po yung eagerness natin na matuto at mas madagdagan yung knowledge natin through the process or along the process. Kasi nandyan po yung process ng socialization and educational process. Next is the conflict theory. Stress the causes of crime based on economic political forces, that crime is a function of competition for limited resources and power. So crime is politically defined concept. So which is true that when it comes to conflict, na nagkakaroon ng conflict sa atin due to the fact na yung politics na meron po tayo is gumagamit sila ng resources and power para po ma-take advantage or ma-overcome nila or ma-overpower po nila yung mga nasa lower class or low income family. So meron kasi tayong divisions, may mga gap tayo dito sa atin, kaya hindi talaga natin maiiwasan na magkaroon ng advantages ang ibang sector na meron dun sa mga lower sector. Kaya po ang sabi dyan, laging may competition for the limited resources and power. We use the power, we use the authority to take over dun sa mga lower person or lower individual, lower class individual. So for the biosocial perspective, so kanina, we have discussed the biological perspective, the internal forces, and this time, biosocial, internal, and external forces. So it means po, we have to seek to explain the onset of antisocial behavior such as aggression and violence by focusing on the physical qualities of the offenders. So it means there is a connection between biological and social factors, between the internal factors and the external factors that sets boundaries between inside and outside the body. So, nagiging aggressive tayo, nagiging violente tayo kasi yung internal factors na meron sa atin ay nag-combine na po sa external factors. Although meron tayong foundation, but within the family setting nagkaroon tayo ng problema, with the involvement po ng external forces, nagiging aggressive or nagiging violente po ang isang tao. So, there are 3 types or factors po ng biosocial, the biochemical. So, it includes yung diet natin, genetic hormones, and environmental contaminants. Na yung pag-intake natin ng drugs, although yung drugs can be legal or illegal, but the way we intake yung drugs kapag sumobra na, kailangan na natin ng tamang diagnosis and tamang treatment. Kasi naaapektuhan na po yung utak natin at naaapektuhan na kung ano po yung meron sa katawan natin. Kaya yung behavior natin could be changed based po sa dosage na nai-intake natin. Uminom tayo ng labis na dosage, may epekto po sa atin. Minsan hindi tayo nakakapag-isip ng tama, hindi nagfa-function ng maayos yung katawan natin. Even for the diet. Kasi there are different ways po on how they diet. So, some yung nagda-diet po ay hindi kumakain ng kanin. Na even yung simpleng nagutom lang tayo, nagbabago na agad yung hormonal levels natin. Possible na tayo ay magagalitin, possible na nagbabago yung mood natin kasi iba po yung way ng diet natin. And then yung neurological, kapag lang po nagkaroon ng brain damage. And the brain damage happens only kung meron pong accident or kung ano man po yung nag-cause ng trauma doon sa isang tao. So, ibig sabihin, naapektuhan po yung utak natin, nagkaroon ng damage, at magkakaroon ngayon ng neurological dysfunction. Kasi when we are referring to neurological, we are referring to the brain and the nervous system. And then, genetic, it talks about the inheritance. That the traits could be passed down from generation to generation. So for the biosocial perspective, so there are traits based on the diagram provided. So there are traits and there are environment, wherein the traits given are the personal characteristics which makes its person unique. And those are the biochemical makeup, genetic code, and neurological conditions. So in connection or in preference po sa environment na meron tayo. And the environment will be our influencer. And those involved sa atin pong influencer ay si parents, peers, schools, and neighborhood. Now, once na nag-combine po si traits and si environment, we have now the ability to learn and achieve. And for us, ang kasunod na po noon, since we have the ability to know, to learn and achieve, human behavior na po. The actions ng isang tao. And those actions po, it's either we are conforming to that actions or we have to involve in criminality. So, positive and negative lang po yung impact kapag po pinagsama natin si traits and environment. Kasi nag-combine na sila, nandyan na yung na-import ang knowledge, nandyan na po yung behavior ng tao, at nasa sa tao na lang po kung magko-conform siya doon or hindi. Kung involved ba siya sa criminality or involved ba siya sa conformity. Next is the psychological perspective. So, it is expressed that criminal behavior is a product of unconscious forces operating within a person's mind. So, ang unconscious level natin, according to Sigmund Freud, we have 30 to 40% ng utak natin yung involved po doon sa unconscious level natin. So, because we are unconscious, ang epekto po noon ay sa mental health or sa mental ability ng isang tao. Kaya po sa psychological perspective, kaya lang po sila nakakakommit ng crime, it's because may problema po sila psychologically. And they are unconscious sa kanilang ginagawa. Kasi po, their mind or their mental ability is unstable. Kaya po nagiging irrational thinker sila. So, additional info, we have the three psychic apparatus or three psychic personality, which are id, ego, and superego. So, id will be the pleasure-seeking principle, then ego, the reality principle, and when we are talking about the conscience or the morality of the person, that is our superego.